we as men have at least one thing in common. Now, that one thing is that we have animalistic urges. We have urges to want to have sex. We have urges to want to reproduce. Now, are those urges normal? I believe 120% they're normal. If you don't have these urges, there's probably something wrong with you. If you don't want to reproduce and keep your bloodline going until, to reach that next generation, there's obviously something wrong with you. Now, in saying that, there is a big discrepancy between, wanting to just claw everything in your vicinity and wanting to beat your dick 24/7 and using that energy and just letting it go and not accepting it as is and just leaving it alone. All right. And this is a concept that was talked about in the book called Reality Transurfing. Now, if you haven't read the book, I would 120% recommend it. It's a really good book. But what he talks about in this book, and it's not necessarily something that just pertains to, people that want to overcome their animalistic urges, people on nofap, people on semen retention, but it can be used in every aspect of life, right? It talks about energy, where energy goes. That's where you're going to start to see different results, and that's when you're going to start to see different things, right? So the key is, right, that he talks about in this book is to accept its existence. We all know that we have this urge to be animalistic. We all have this urge to want to ejaculate. But you have to accept it for what it is. You have to accept that you have the urge. You have to accept that you have the urge to want to reproduce or to ejaculate at the very least. It's there, it's not leaving, and neither you nor me can do anything about it, all right? If you're a healthy male and you live healthily, your body's functioning at a healthy level, you're going to have these urges, and that's just it. You have to accept it for what it is. In my opinion, there's no point counting the days. I know you want to feel good about not beating off or whatever, but there's no point in counting the days of not beating. Oh, I'm on day 26. Oh, I'm day 50. Oh, I'm on day 74. Because you're just giving more energy to that thing. And if you want to quit something, the key is to not give energy to that thing. If you're a smoker, the best way to not smoke is to accept it for what it is and not think about it. If you think, oh, this is day 20 of not smoking, then chance is you're just counting the days until you smoke again, right? Because it's a mental thing. You're still thinking about smoking. Even though you don't want to smoke and you're counting the days of not smoking, you're still thinking about doing that thing. You're still thinking about smoking. And that's the issue that I see with a lot of these nofap semen retentions guys, is that you don't just accept it as is and move on. You think about it constantly. You think about it 24/7. Oh, I have this urge, but I'm not going to beat. And that's a good thing. Obviously, not beating and not ejaculating, not watching porn. These are good things, right? Because your energy is being transferred into other aspects and areas of your life. Should you do it for a prolonged period of time? Maybe not. It's debatable. If you have a woman, is there an issue with ejaculating? I don't believe so. Maybe not every single time, every single day. But, once a week, something like that. I don't think there's an issue with that. Because you're still maintaining that energy. You're only letting go of a little bit of energy. Your semen builds up. You release. I think a release is important. But what is the point of doing something if you're just counting the days and you're not using your energy properly? If that thing, if you focus your energy on it, I believe that the greater grip that it will have on your life. If you focus so much on not ejaculating, on not beating, on being on nofap, you're going to just be focusing all your energy on that, and it's just going to have a huge grip on your life, and you're not going to be able to do anything else. You're not going to be able to think about anything else. That is the only thing you're going to be thinking about, and that's the only goal that you have in your life. And in my opinion, that's a pretty fucking weak goal to have. Pardon my language, but that's a weak goal to have, bro. You don't need to be counting the days on nofap, because in my opinion, you're just waiting for yourself to fall back into the trap of lust, back into the trap of lusting over people, lusting over women on the internet. And I don't think that counting the days is a good way to go about it. Understand that, yes, beating off at an excessive rate is not a good thing. Beating off to porn, watching porn is not a good thing. But counting it is not going to help you. You have to accept it as is and learn to let go. Let go so that you can use your energy on other things in your life that carry more importance, that carry more weight, that are actually going to help you in your life, right? The more you think about not doing it, the more control it will have over your life, right? And an analogy I've written down here is, compare this to having a car accident. You have the accident, it's happened. The more you think about it, the more anxious you'll feel the next time you drive. But if you let it go, you'll be free of any biases based on experience. Meaning that I'm driving, I have this accident, next time I drive, I'm going to be thinking, oh shit, but last time I drove, I had an accident. Is that going to happen to me again? Because you've had this experience, you've had this event happen to you in your life, you're so focused on that negative that negative is going to mentally affect you for a prolonged period of time until you learn to let it go, until you learn to accept it as is. Until you learn to accept it for what it is, you learn to understand that, okay, this happened to me in my life, all right? But it's fine. It is what it is. I can't feel guilty because that guilt is going to keep me at a low vibration. It's going to keep me vibrating at a low frequency, because guilt, things like guilt, fear, etc., those things are low vibrational emotions. And if you're living in a low vibrational emotion, it tends to be that those emotions control you and you don't have any control over your life, because you're constantly thinking, oh, what's going to happen? I'm in a fearful state. Oh my goodness. These are low vibrational emotions. You should want to transcend these emotions. All right. And the key, a big helping thing that I've found when it comes to accepting it as is, accepting the fact that, you know, that lust is going to be there, that urge is going to be there, is to fill the void in your life. You're not filling the void by thinking about nofap, right? You're not filling the void by thinking about not fapping. You're filling the void by actually doing something in your life. What is it that you want to achieve in your life? What is that one thing that you want to achieve so bad above anything else? What is that thing that you would do every single day if money wasn't a thing? What would you do if you didn't get paid for doing that thing, right? Now, I do make money off of YouTube on another channel, but before that, what did I love doing so much? I like video creating. I like doing this. I like creating a purpose for myself through, you know, providing value to people on the online, whether that's information or whether that's entertainment, whatever form of value that is. This is how I transmute my energy. I put my energy into my craft. I put my energy into doing that thing that I love doing. And I wake up every single day thinking about, what can I do next? What's that next step I can take to achieve the goal that I want to achieve? Now, have I made progress? Of course I made progress, but am I at the point that I want to be at? No. So every day I fill that void of, okay, I'm not going to ejaculate. Okay, I'm not going to waste my seed on bullshit by doing something that benefits my life. There's no actual benefit. You might think there's a benefit to, oh, I'm on day 120 of nofap. Oh, I'm on day 300. Oh, I'm on day 50. You might get this like, oh, I feel good about myself. Yeah, like I feel good because I'm not beaten off. You will feel good about it, but is there any real progress being made in your life? Probably not. You're just sitting there counting days on nofap and you're waiting until you bust again. You're waiting until you eventually beat off once again. So the thing is, you need to accept it as is, and you need to figure out a way to fill the void in your life. If you don't figure out a way to fill the void in your life, you're not going to be able to use your energy effectively. And the key is energy. Everything in life is made up of energy. You need to use that energy into something that excites you every single day that you wake up. Whether that's a business, whether that's creating videos online, whether that's, you can go to the gym, use your energy to go to the gym, because energy is never, you can't create it, you can't destroy it, it is merely transferred. You can only transfer energy, and that's how energy works, right? So you need to figure out how you can use this energy. Yeah, you might feel good on nofap, you might feel good going to the gym, but bro, these things don't pay the bills, bro. You're gonna need to make money eventually. How are you gonna do that? Do you have interest in a specific type of business model? Do you have interest in, advancing some sort of career? If you want to work for people, if you don't want to work for people, how can you create a business that aligns with you, that you believe provides a good amount of just a good benefit to the world, that changes the world in a positive way? How can you benefit everyone around you by, impacting everyone's life positively? And you figure that out through, either creating a business, or you might become a professional athlete, or you might become an employee. It's whatever you want to do with your life. I'm not shitting on employees because employees are needed. I'm not shitting on business owners because business owners are needed. But obviously not everyone can be a business owner. Not everyone's going to be an employee. It's whatever you decide you want to be, whatever you want to transmute that energy in, because if you're only thinking about not beating, you're eventually going to beat again, right? You need to fill that void in your life. If you don't fill that void, you're going to be cooked. What are you going to do with your time? What are you going to do with your energy? What are you going to do with your attention? That attention, your energy, that time is just going to get wasted doing nothing. So you need to figure out a way, okay, I've got this time now, I've got my energy, I've got my attention, what do I put that into? I'll put that into, okay, this business that I'm going to start. But this is hard. How do I level up this business? Okay, I figure out, okay, I'm going to YouTube and search this on the internet. Okay, this is how I do this. And you figure it out as you go. But you're not going to make any actual progress in your life if you don't do hard shit. All right, and it gets to a point where like the gym is easy as fuck after a certain point, right? So you can't really say the gym is difficult. The gym is a good habit to have, but the gym after a certain point, you go there, you do your thing, that's it, bro. I hit the gym 5 to 6 days a week like that. It's easy. It's not a difficult thing. I go to the gym, I finish my workout, and I do my thing. If I want to run, I run. I lift weights most of the time, but that's not the sole purpose of my life. It's part of my life. It's an aspect of my life, but it's not the sole purpose of my life. What is your purpose? What is your calling? You got to figure that out, because you got to fill the void in your life.